you were way ahead of the curve on this one. And I continue to be like really baffled in many respects by it. Although as much as I've read on, and I'm talking about the Taylor Swift thing, I am like sort of culturally stunted. So, like I had a vague notion of who Taylor Swift was. Like I knew she was a musician but I don't think I had ever like seen a picture of her and known that's Taylor Swift. But you wrote a piece back in October. What did you see then that has now metastasized into something that I can't even describe? Like I understand what's going on here.
Yeah, no, early in October, I had started to notice like these articles in like right-wing publications, like the Federalist, like say, blaming Taylor Swift for the decline of America. And I thought that was very like odd. And I looked into it. The basic short answer is misogyny, right? Like the strongest block of voters, aside from the traditional ethnic groups like African Americans, but that support the Democrats are like single women. And that is the Taylor Swift demographic. She's the songstress of single women and single girls. And it's not just that they think like, well, this is a voting bloc that, votes for Democrats, but also that this is a voting bloc that is like the evil of the world. This is like, classic, like, misogyny of like Eve created evil, right? Like Taylor Swift is the sort of temptress that is leading women away from not getting married, not having kids as they should, not becoming like, good Republican wives. So that was starting then. And now like everything else, it's taken a level. And at the time I was writing this, I was kind of worried, like, well, am I giving these cranks too much attention?
Right.
And, like maybe I'm just, like you do that sometimes where you kind of like, notice a few nutty things on the right and you call attention to it. But actually, it turned out I underestimated these guys. They took this to a level of lunacy far beyond anything I could imagine, of like the conspiracy theories that Taylor Swift is a psyop created by the deep state, and her relationship. I don't even know who this guy. I don't follow like you. I don't follow this.
He is a huge star, and he's about to play in the Super Bowl.
But only because of the deep
the CIA
state.
is basically not just engineering this relationship; is engineering the Super Bowl to create Biden.
They won it last year.
Well, they play the long game. But here's the fascinating thing about it is like on some level, their whole notion of like, she's like a turncoat and Eve, and she like, she's bit into the apple or whatever it is, like the weird. And I understand why they lard on the whole psyop stuff, because that's the sort of like, that's their toolkit now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're in that.
Yeah.
But
it's a model that they have, so they apply to everything. Yeah.
They apply it to everything. But the amazing thing about it is like the latest polling from Quinnipiac showed Biden actually ahead in a head-to-head with Trump. And it was because of a growing, almost like a 10-point swing in the support of women. 5% went to Biden and 5% left Trump. And it's almost like they can't, but the idea that the way they're going to convince women to not is to attack Taylor Swift.
It's crazy.
A
lot of these guys are coming out of like pickup culture, right? The sort of manosphere. And if you read these guys, like their idea of courtship is you kind of like bully and harass and belittle women, and you'll destroy their self-confidence, and then they will finally go with you. Which I have to say, like, if that's your courtship techniques, what does that say about you? Like how appealing you are, that you have to basically use psychological warfare to attract.
Well, they think they can neg Taylor Swift into women voting for Donald Trump. Is that
yeah. This is that's your model of gender. Like just as you have a conspiracy model, the deep state for everything. The model of gender is that gender works well when women are humiliated into submission, and then they will date us.
Yeah.
And
But
and
is it also, Jeet, that she's a white woman? Like, that's the thing that is just because they don't really care or sexualize or well, they do, but they don't consider black or non-white women to be in their periphery. But to Sam's point, which I hadn't made this connection yet, like, they are quite concerned about the suburban white woman vote. You know who loves Taylor Swift more than than anybody? Suburban white women. And it's not just young girls, it's like my age and older grew up with Taylor Swift. So
no, like Barbie, it's a mother-daughter thing. But beyond that, I mean, there's a sort of prehistory to this, which again, like, unfortunately, because I follow the right, I have to know this stuff. But it's also, there's this element of, there is nothing more, hell hath no fury like a Nazi spurned. Which is to say that, like, about 10 years ago, because Taylor Swift was so apolitical, she's white, she came from, this conservative family, there was a lot of speculation among the sort of, alt-right that she's a secret sympathizer. She's really one of us, and that, and because she had that run-in with Kanye, which ironically, it's totally reversed itself, right? But she was seen as the champion of whiteness. And I've actually had, like, Nazis write to me and say, like, Taylor, they used to write to me and say, Taylor Swift is proof that, there is a white culture in America.
Yes.
And it's great. Like, I have to say, even at the best of times, I don't know how any popular music is white, like, in America, like, in terms
hers is really white. It's really white.
Is really white.
But like, also the thing about Kanye, that's part of it too. She got on the scene being, now he's a Nazi, but like back in the day, he was the guy saying George Bush doesn't care about black people. He ran on stage and stole her moment away. That was her big cultural moment. And she milked the crap out of that. She wrote a song about it. Like, her rise to superstardom was this scary black man going after a pure white woman and taking her shine away. I hated the vibe of that at the time, but now I'm realizing that was maybe the beginning of her kind of foray into these incel types loving her, these white supremacist types loving her.
No, she was their fantasy girlfriend. They really felt like, if she met me, I'd have a shot, right? And now, and then she endorsed Biden. So there's a huge sort of psychosexual thing going on. Like, this is the thing, though. And this also gives me hope. Like, we're talking about very weird people. And on the right, and they can't hide their weirdness anymore. And somehow Trump has enabled them, empowered them to, like, just let it all hang out. And all their, like, freaky demons are, like, they talk about it. It's on the page. And I gotta think, like, Biden, not my favorite, but, like, if it's between him and these, like, crackpot incels who have sexually want to humiliate Taylor Swift because they thought she could have been their girlfriend and now she isn't, I gotta go with Joe Biden. Like, he looks good compared to them. The race thing is a very hard thing. It's actually, I mean, it's interesting because my daughters don't like Taylor Swift, and I hadn't made that connection, but I think the pure whiteness of the music might be a reason.
The fascinating thing about this is that they're using a tool that maybe in the past had worked in a slightly different context, and it's not working anymore, but they don't know how to, there's no other tool for them to switch from. And in some ways, it seems like it's exacerbating it. Like it
is like Joe Biden with Gaza. Like, this is ideology for them. This is not something they're doing like out of a cagey thinking, like, we can win on this. It's like, this is what they believe. Yes. So two wars of folly driven by ideology. One in Gaza and one with Taylor Swift.
Well, that's why we love having you on, Jeet, because of your ability to write so eloquently on that sort of wide range of things. I mean, that's
it's a pleasure to be on.
Jeet Heer. We will put a link to both those pieces. The one about the Biden's abject failure of his quiet diplomacy, and the one where you sort of anticipated this bizarre Taylor Swift gate, I guess. Maybe
Yes.
is it a gate yet? Or
Yes.
Jeet Heer, always a pleasure. Thanks, man.
Thanks.